What if the ocean floor off the coast of Japan hides the remnants of an ancient civilization? Or is it simply a stunning display of nature's artistry? Dive deep with us into the second video of Yonaguni Monument, Japan's enigmatic underwater formation that sparked endless debates among scientists, divers, and history buffs alike. In this video, we're uncovering 21 mind-blowing facts that blend geological wonders with intriguing possibilities of human involvement. Whether you're convinced it's a lost city or a natural marvel, these details will challenge everything you thought you knew. If ancient mysteries like this hook you, hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications so you never miss an exploration on Ancient Chronicles HD. Let's plunge in, starting with the basics. The Yonaguni Monument is composed of Miocene-era sandstone and mudstone from the Yaeyama group, sediments laid down around 20 million years ago in a dynamic tectonic environment, where the Philippine Sea Plate subducts beneath the Eurasian Plate. This ancient rock naturally features horizontal bedding planes that, under immense pressure from earthquakes and shifts, fracture into flat terrace-like steps, much like layered cake eroding unevenly. Geologists point to this as pure natural formation, with similar patterns visible across the Ryukyu Islands, where wave action and tectonic stress create these geometric illusions without any need for human hands. Yet, in a hybrid perspective championed by some experts, there's room for speculation. Ancient peoples might have spotted these emerging natural terraces during periods of lower sea levels and minimally modified them, perhaps chiseling edges or using them as ready-made platforms for rituals or gatherings. Imagine prehistoric inhabitants of the region around 10,000 years ago, recognizing the site's potential and enhancing its symmetry for practical or spiritual purposes. This doesn't require a full-blown city, but suggests a clever adaptation of nature's work, explaining why the features seem too orderly for random geology alone. Onshore comparisons at sites like Saninudai reinforce the natural base, but the monument's concentrated precision in a submerged spot hints at selective human touch-ups, making it a fascinating puzzle for those studying early human ingenuity in coastal environments. What if these terraces were once bustling with activity, echoing with the sounds of ancient ceremonies, now silenced by the sea? Moving to the striking vertical joints that give the monument its sharp, right-angled edges. These form naturally from tectonic compression in the volatile Ryukyu Arc, a hotspot for seismic activity where plates grind and crack rocks at nearly perfect 90-degree angles. Think of it as the Earth's crust folding under pressure, creating clean breaks that mimic man-made cuts, evident in 2019 digital elevation models that map identical fractures on nearby island cliffs. This process, driven by frequent earthquakes, explains the architectural appearance without invoking builders. However, some proponents argue these angles are too precise to be coincidental, suggesting ancient modifications during the Ice Age, when sea levels were lower by up to 120 meters, exposing the site. In this view, early humans could have refined these natural joints, perhaps using stone tools to straighten edges for structural stability or aesthetic reasons, turning a geological quirk into a functional space. This hybrid idea bridges the gap. Nature provides the blueprint, and humans add the finishing touches. Much like how ancient Japanese cultures shaped natural rocks during the Kofun period for tombs and shrines. It's a reminder that our ancestors were masters at working with the environment, not against it. And dives into Yonaguni often leave explorers pondering if those crisp lines hide subtle tool marks from millennia ago. Could these edges have been honed by hands that gazed at the same stars we do today, weaving human history into the stone? One of the most captivating aspects is the differential erosion that sculpts the monument's tiered, pyramid-like shape, where harder upper layers of sandstone withstand the relentless pounding of waves and currents, while softer mudstone beneath erodes faster, carving out those dramatic steps over thousands of years. A 2019 study in marine geology quantified this, showing how erosion rates vary by rock hardness, leading to natural staircases that could fool anyone into thinking of human design. But in hybrid theories, this becomes even more intriguing. Imagine ancient Ryukyu islanders, perhaps from the Jomon era, encountering these emerging tiers and deciding to enhance them, smoothing surfaces, or adding supports for ceremonial platforms. This wouldn't demand advanced engineering, but rather opportunistic modifications, similar to how prehistoric people in other regions adapted caves or outcrops for use. The result? A site that blends seamless geology with potential human intent, challenging us to reconsider how early societies interacted with their landscapes. Divers report the terraces feel almost inviting, like steps leading to a forgotten realm, fueling speculation that they were once used for gatherings tied to the sea, perhaps during hammerhead shark migrations that still draw visitors today. What secrets might those steps hold if we could climb them back in time, revealing rituals lost to the waves? Now, consider the mysterious holes scattered across the rock surfaces. Geologists attribute them to bioerosion from marine life like boring clams of the Lithophaga species, which drill into stone for shelter, leaving behind rounded burrows that were confirmed through plaster casts in 1990s submarine studies. These natural pockmarks add to the site's textured allure, showing how life underwater shapes stone over time. Yet, some observers highlight specific pairs of larger holes, about 2 feet wide, that seem too uniformly placed for rand home biology, proposing they could be man-made for drainage, anchoring, or even symbolic purposes. In a hybrid lens, ancient divers or coastal dwellers might have enlarged natural holes with tools, turning them into functional elements like post holes for wooden structures or ritual markers. This idea draws from regional archaeology, where early tools from Taiwan's Chongbin culture suggest humans were active nearby during the Paleolithic. While no direct evidence links these holes to human work, their placement invites debate, making Yonaguni a prime example of how nature and culture might intertwine in ways we've yet to fully uncover. Picture ancient craftsmen peering into these voids, perhaps using them as anchors for nets or as portals for offerings to sea gods. What untold stories could these simple features whisper if we listened closely enough? The so-called retaining wall stands out as a vertical drop that geologists classify as a fault scarp, born from block faulting during powerful earthquakes that jolt the Ryukyu region, displacing rock masses upward or downward to create these apparent barriers up to 2 meters high, backed by seismic data tracking magnitude 7+ events. It's a testament to the area's tectonic volatility, where the ground literally reshapes itself. Proponents, however, envision this as a deliberately constructed wall, perhaps enhanced by humans for defense against waves or to define sacred spaces. In hybrid scenarios, natural faults could have been fortified with minimal effort, like stacking loose stones or carving reinforcements, aligning with how ancient Pacific Islanders built seawalls from available materials. This perspective adds layers to the mystery. Was it a protective moat for a coastal settlement, or just nature's handiwork preserved underwater? Explorations revealed the wall's imposing presence, stirring thoughts of lost rituals performed in its shadow, especially given the site's proximity to shark-rich waters that might have held spiritual significance. Imagine standing behind that wall millennia ago, waves crashing as guardians watched over ceremonies. Does it guard secrets of a forgotten people? Or is it merely the Earth's silent sentinel? Powerful underwater currents, driven by the Kuroshio pathway with speeds up to 2 meters per second, have naturally abraded the site over 10,000 years, forming overhangs and channels through sediment transport that mimics engineered designs. A 2021 oceanographic model details how this flow etches grid-like patterns into the softer mudstone, explaining the site's intricate layout without human intervention. But some researchers counter that these channels resemble moats or irrigation ditches too organized for mere erosion, suggesting ancient modifications to direct water flow for agriculture or ceremonies. In a balanced hybrid view, humans could have deepened natural grooves, harnessing the currents for practical uses like fishing traps or symbolic pathways. This ties into broader ancient engineering, where coastal communities worldwide adapted hydrology, and Yonaguni's features might reflect early experimentation in a now submerged world. The strong flows also keep the site relatively clear of sediment, preserving details that invite endless speculation among divers who navigate its twists. What if these channels once carried not just water, but the lifeblood of a thriving community, channeling resources in ways that echo through time? Comparing to onshore sites like Kube Ryo Furishi and Sani Nudai, where 2019 microtopography surveys reveal identical jointing and bedding, underscores the monument's natural roots. Wave action and tectonics create ruin-like outcrops above water, just as they do below. This regional consistency argues against artificiality, showing Yonaguni as part of a larger geological story. Yet, the submerged site's unique density of features suggests possible human selection. Ancient people might have chosen this spot for its preformed geometry, modifying it subtly for habitation or worship. Hybrid proponents see it as a natural canvas, enhanced over generations, perhaps by Jomon hunter-gatherers who left shell mounds nearby. This approach explains the lack of widespread alterations while accounting for the site's allure, positioning it as a bridge between raw nature and human creativity in prehistoric Asia. Could this be where early innovators tested their skills against the elements, leaving a legacy that's half Earth, half Enigma? Despite extensive dives, no definitive artifacts such as pottery or tools from the Jomon period have surfaced, as noted in 1988 research reports, bolstering the natural formation camp by highlighting the absence of human debris. This void is key in debates, suggesting no long-term occupation. However, a solitary chipped stone tool, potentially from Taiwan's Changbin culture, dating back 20,000 to 10,000 BCE, has been referenced as indirect proof of nearby human presence, possibly indicating transient use. In hybrid thinking, the site could have been a sacred or utilitarian spot, where artifacts weren't left behind, like a quarry or ritual platform cleaned of traces. This scarcity challenges archaeologists, but excites mystery seekers, implying any modifications were minimal and purposeful, leaving us to piece together clues from the stones themselves. What if the lack of finds is intentional? A deliberate erasure by ancients who wanted their secrets to remain hidden beneath the waves. Sea level reconstructions from coral cores pinpoint the monument's submersion around 12,000 to 10,000 years ago, at the end of the Younger Dryas, through gradual tectonic sinking rather than a sudden flood, with sediment layers remaining undisturbed. This timeline fits a post-Ice Age rise, hiding coastal sites worldwide. Some researchers' alternative dating to 2,000–3,000 years ago ties it to a major seismic event, positing a built structure overwhelmed by a tsunami. Hybrid models merge these. Nature submerged, a naturally terraced area that humans had enhanced earlier, preserving it as a time capsule. This duality enriches the narrative, linking Yonaguni to global stories of rising seas, erasing human footprints, and urges further sonar scans to reveal buried secrets. Imagine the moment of submersion, waves claiming a site, buzzing with life, or a quiet geological shift burying untouched wonders. Which version calls to you more? The turtle-shaped formations emerge from differential cementation, where iron-rich nodules create animal-like shapes, akin to those in Utah's Arches National Park, as verified by rock analysis, pure geology at play. But some proponents insist these are intentional carvings, modified to represent guardians or totems in ancient lore. A hybrid take allows for both. Nature forms the rough outline, and humans refine it into symbolic art, drawing from Pacific traditions where animals like turtles hold mythic roles. This adds cultural depth, suggesting the site was a canvas for expressing reverence for the sea, much like carvings in other submerged sites. What hidden meanings might these shapes hold? Guardians watching over divers today as they did for ancient observers. Acoustic profiling from 1988 shows the monument as a single monolithic block with unbroken strata, lacking mortar or seams that would indicate assembly, debunking ideas of stacked megaliths. Yet, unverified diver accounts of internal ramps hint at human excavation, comparable to pyramid construction methods. In hybrid views, ancient explorers might have hollowed natural cavities for access or storage, blending geology with ingenuity. This internal mystery calls for advanced tech like drones to explore, potentially revealing hidden chambers that could tip the scales in the debate. Could there be undiscovered passages within, leading to artifacts that rewrite our understanding of prehistoric engineering? Biofouling studies from 2007 note minimal coral due to turbid currents. Keeping edges sharp and suggesting long exposure. This could also imply a more recent submersion, fitting some researchers' revised timeline for a human-touched site. Hybrid theories propose it as a ritual area, with intentional maintenance to preserve visibility, explaining the lack of overgrowth. The preservation intrigues, as it allows us to see features clearly, fueling ongoing research into how ancient sites survive underwater. What if this clarity is no accident, but a testament to ancient techniques that defied the ocean's embrace? Oral traditions from Taiwan mention ancestors' hoes as stone axes from 4000 to 3000 BCE, after the site's likely submersion, indicating no direct folklore link. Speculations connected to Yamatai culture through historical texts, envisioning enhanced remnants of early settlements. Hybrid perspectives see cultural exchanges leaving subtle marks, like modified rocks for trade hubs, enriching the site's story without concrete proof. But why no legends persist? Did time erase the tales, or were they never meant to be shared? Imagine whispers of a sunken paradise passed down in secret, only now resurfacing through modern dives. The gates appear as natural arches undercut by waves along faults, mirroring San Ninodai in 2019 models. Some researchers view them as refined entrances, too exact for nature, possibly widened by humans. In hybrids, they become portals to sacred spaces, adapted from geology for ceremonial entry, evoking ancient gateways worldwide. What lies beyond these arches? Mere rock, or echoes of rituals that once welcomed the initiated? Divers often pause here, feeling a threshold to the unknown, sparking curiosity about who might have crossed it first. Petrological matches to Yaeyama strata confirm 20-million-year-old origins, but cardinal alignments of terraces suggest astronomical tweaks like Stonehenge. Hybrids propose humans-oriented natural features for solstice observations, hinting at sophisticated knowledge in prehistory.
Auric Ryukyu. Could these alignments track celestial events, guiding ancient navigators or marking sacred times? This cosmic connection elevates Yonaguni from rock to relic, inviting us to stargaze through history's lens and wonder about the sky watchers who came before. Sediment cores show no human DNA or pollen, contrasting Jomon middens per 2015 surveys. Debated stone tablets with symbols, though unconfirmed, are debated as etched artifacts, potentially placed in natural crevices for ritual purposes. In hybrid interpretations, these could be deliberate deposits, hidden messages from a culture that revered the site as a bridge between worlds. Why so few traces? Were they swept away or intentionally sparse to preserve mystery? This scarcity teases the imagination, suggesting a society that valued subtlety, leaving clues for future seekers like us to decode. The drainage canals manifest as erosional gullies from submarine landslides, per sonar data showing gravity-driven flows in this tectonic hotspot. Proponents interpret them as engineered moats, with their grid-like patterns implying human-directed water management, perhaps for defense or irrigation in a coastal outpost. Hybrid approaches blend these views. Nature carves the initial paths, and ancient inhabitants refine them, creating a network that harnessed the sea's power. Picture rainwater or tides flowing through these veins, sustaining life or symbolizing renewal. What innovative minds might have engineered such harmony with the elements? The precision of the grids defies simple explanation, prompting questions about lost technologies that could rival modern feats, and divers tracing them often feel like detectives unraveling a submerged blueprint. The devastating 1771 tsunami, recorded as towering over 40 meters in historical accounts, likely played a pivotal role in the site's final shaping, scouring surfaces and depositing boulders that locked features in place. Seismic reconstructions paint a picture of
chaos, with waves reshaping the landscape in an instant. Yet, this event aligns perfectly with some researchers' submersion theories, suggesting it could have engulfed human-modified structures around 2,500 years ago, preserving them in an underwater vault. In hybrid narratives, the tsunami becomes a dramatic turning point, a natural catastrophe that sealed away enhancements made to the rock, protecting them from further erosion while hiding them from the world. What if survivors witnessed this cataclysm, their stories morphing into myths of vanished lands? The monument's sharp preservation post-event hints at rapid burial, fueling curiosity about what else might lie entombed nearby. Perhaps tools or offerings swept in by the surge, awaiting discovery by future tech. Comparisons to the Bimini Road in the Bahamas reveal shared natural fractured origins in sandstone and limestone, with no artifacts at either site, as detailed in 2007 cross-site geological reviews that emphasize coincidental geometry over design. This global parallel strengthens the case for pure tectonics and erosion, creating ruin illusions worldwide. However, hybrid enthusiasts draw lines to places like Dwarka in India, where natural underwater bases were enhanced into settlements, complete with confirmed artifacts that suggest similar processes at Yonaguni. Could this be part of a network of post-Ice Age coastal marvels, where humans opportunistically built upon geology before seas rose? The ambiguity sparks endless debate, inviting viewers to connect the dots across oceans. What if these sites whisper of a shared ancient heritage, lost civilizations adapting to changing worlds in ways that mirror our own climate challenges today? Its precise coordinates at 24 degrees 26 minutes 9 seconds north, 123 degrees 0041 seconds east, place it squarely on a Pleistocene reef plateau, formed by ancient coral growth now eroded into the monument's foundation, as mapped in 1990's bathymetric surveys by the University of the Ryukyus. This submarine setting underscores natural evolution from reef to rock, shaped by millennia of sea level fluctuations. Associations with shark veneration add a cultural twist. Proponents tie the site to Pacific traditions like those of the Chamorro people in Guam, where hammerhead migrations might have inspired rituals on this natural platform. In hybrid scenarios, ancient observers could have modified the plateau for seasonal ceremonies, timing gatherings with shark arrivals as omens or offerings. Imagine drums echoing over the waves, participants honoring marine guardians. What spiritual insights might they have gained from this convergence of land, sea, and sky? The site's accessibility today draws divers seeking that same thrill, but the potential for ritual use raises questions about forgotten beliefs, urging us to explore how nature's rhythms intertwined with human spirituality in prehistoric times. Finally, Recent 2025 research from Yokohama City University, utilizing updated digital elevation models and strata investigations at 3 onshore geosites, reaffirms the monument's origins through natural weathering and microtopography, with no unequivocal signs of anthropogenic alteration, emphasizing its immense value for studying tectonic processes in the Ryukyu Arc. This latest data solidifies the geological narrative, highlighting how earthquakes, erosion, and currents collaborate to craft such wonders over eons. Yet, ongoing calls from proponent research teams advocate for advanced underwater drone explorations to probe hidden crevices and potential modifications, arguing that the site's symmetry and features challenge conventional timelines of human achievement. In this hybrid climax, Yonaguni stands as a tantalizing enigma, predominantly nature's masterpiece, but possibly touched by hands that pushed the boundaries of early innovation. What groundbreaking discoveries await in those uncharted depths? Artifacts that prove human involvement, or more evidence of the Earth's solo artistry? As technology advances, we edge closer to answers, but the mystery endures, reminding us that history's greatest puzzles often lie where land meets legend. What if Yonaguni is just the tip of a submerged iceberg, hiding clues to civilizations we can barely fathom? There you have it, 21 mind-blowing facts that keep the Yonaguni debate alive. Natural wonder, human masterpiece, or a bit of both? Comment your theory below, like if this blew your mind, and subscribe for more dives into history's enigmas on Ancient Chronicles HD. Share with a fellow mystery lover, and let's unravel the past together.